went to Philippines to get our advanced license with Sun and Sea, which is the company that we also went to our Maldives trip with.
Yeah, they're great. We love them. This time they sent us to Anilao, which is a 2 to 3 hour drive from Manila. So it's very convenient. We stayed at the Altamare Resort.
The weather better than we thought. Morning.
Morning.
Breakfast. We are getting ready for our first test. And since we're doing our license this time, we will need to learn how to set up everything ourselves. We bought these super cute hoods. I'm a unicorn. You're a seal. 係咪好 cute 啊？覺得自己
係，我好 cute。我係咪好 cute 啊？
唔係。介紹下呢位咧，就係我哋喺香港新靚師一齊嚟嘅 diving instructor Sunday. Hello. People here have huge cameras.
The bubble area is about 5 meters over here in this area.
We're using a technique called a back roll. So typically any of these type of more acrobatic moves, Emi is not so confident.
So the first dive, we were just practicing our buoyancy. There's actually not too much to see around there because we need more clear space so we can do the practice.
This time Emi was having a bit of trouble, so as you can see, she's interacting and communicating with the dive instructor underwater. We are now going to dive at bubbles. It's called bubbles because there are bubbles coming out because they think there's volcanic activity below. That's why it's really warm as well. We're going to cook an egg later and show you guys how hot the water is. We bought 2 raw eggs in a plastic bag and then the dive instructor put it in the soil.
And after that we swam around a bit more and I finally got better, got control of my movement.
And then we saw a bit more marine life. I think the area in which we were seeing, it wasn't so much coral. I think that came later, but what we were seeing right now was a lot of seahorses, which I've never seen before in the wild. And they're like stuck to the ground. They use their tail to hold on.
And after that we pick up the eggs from the soil.
It's eggy from the
Bubbles.
It cooked it. It's so hot.
It's 温泉蛋.
Wow.
Yeah, it's cooked.
It's cooked. Wow.
Crazy. Can eat now.
Is it good? She's hungry. On our second dive of the morning, Emi was also screaming again as she jumped into the water.
First we went to see the cathedral, which was quite cool, but then we're too focused on taking the photo so we forgot to film it.
It's like a little underwater castle.
There were so many fish there.
He's attacking us.
Yeah, just like all over our face. Cool place.
Very cool place. And we saw a lot of bigger fish too, like these long, very thin fish. I don't know what they're called, but yeah, that was super cool.
And then we went to see the cross.
It was quite a cool photo spot.
Good for Instagram photo. Actually, Anilao, a lot of people go there to take photos. A lot of dive photographers because of the little marine life. This is our lunch. It's quite healthy actually. A lot of veggies, tuna steak, and chicken. Wow. The sunset tonight.
What dives did we do today, Gigi?
We dive around the bubble, the hot one.
Yeah, near the volcanic. Second one, we dive near a cathedral and cross in the water.
And then we had lunch.
Yeah.
Then we slept.
Yeah.
Had a long nap.
Yeah, almost an hour and a half.
And now with the sunset, we are going to do a night dive.
Yeah. We woke up to a beautiful sunset.
We started our first ever night dive in our lives. It's optional for advanced divers, so if you're scared of the dark, you don't have to do it, but I would really recommend it because even like me, where I'm like scared of most things, it was such a cool experience. It's not as scary.
It's not scary
as you think. Especially if you're not doing alone.
Obviously, I was with my baby, but also we had 2 instructors with torches and everything, so it's quite bright. So we saw 3 cool things. One of them was a blue lobster. Then we saw a really ugly fish. I think it's called like a frogfish or something. And then we saw a little school of squid, like baby, tiny, shiny squid, just 4 of them like hovering.
Oh, dinner tonight looks so good. Spring roll. I think this is deep fried fish, veggie soup. Ming Ming?
we made friends with a little cat called Ming Ming. She was actually pregnant.
Very well taken care of by the resort, which is
Yes.
something that we really appreciate. We actually heard that some other resorts, they treat animals very badly.
Bạn xỉu. Cháu. Minh Minh, mày bắn cục coi chứ.
Do you think they're friends? No? Minh Minh. Để cho mấy lẹ kêu Minh Minh má. Minh Minh có giỡn.
Tomorrow.
For breakfast today, we are having fried rice, the pork.
I think so.
It looks very red.
Yeah.
And then egg and lettuce.
In Malaysian, it's ikan bilis, little fried fishies.
I love this thing sauce. It's another beautiful day.
Good morning, guys. We are going wreck diving today. Such nice weather.
Yeah, it's really nice. The weather report said it's gonna be raining and thunderstorm every day, but turns out
It's good. Also, another really good thing about this place that we stayed at is that all of the dive sites are really close to the resort. So you only are taking, boat rides of maybe 5 to 15 minutes. So we are now at the wreck dive. It used to be a floating restaurant.
yeah, so it's not like a ship dive, but
Yeah.
it's a casino.
Yeah,
and then
it's like a house.
Yeah, it collapses.
Yeah. So we're gonna go see that and some electric clams. Putting on my wetsuit. Am I see? Am I cute? You think I'm cute? Hey, answer me. You think I'm cute?
So it's actually really fun swimming through the wreck dive, and it really put your buoyancy skills to test because you need to swim through the wreck, and then you can swim up and down to the squares. Luckily, I was doing better.
Yeah, she was
This
really
day.
good. This wreck dive was slightly deeper than the dives that we did before. I think it's almost at our maximum depth of 30 meters. So there's a lot of cool things to see in the wreck dive. There's a lot of different marine life that we saw. There's these really big fishes that were followed around by the really thin, long fishies. A lot of different types of coral growing on the rope underwater, mushroom broccoli looking type coral. The coolest thing that I thought one was the electric clam. So that is the thing that you see when it's red, and then in the inside, in between, so you can see the electric current going bzz, 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 bzz. I think that's how it catches its prey. So it'll shock small little fish and then it'll eat it. And then we also saw a lot of sea snails and sea slugs. They're really pretty. They have different colors.
So after that, we did our final dive, which is at this beautiful place with a lot of coral and fish, and it was really enjoyable because we already finished most of the tests. So it's mostly just playing.
Enjoying,
Having
yeah.
fun, yeah.
And it was great because this part of the dives we saw the most coral and the most marine life. So we really just got to enjoy all of that. So the cool thing about this place, I think it's called the Coral Gardens because there's just so much coral everywhere. It's actually in person even more beautiful because unfortunately the deeper you go in water, a lot of the light gets absorbed through the water, and the first one to go on the spectrum is red. So you can't see red colors very well underwater on a camera. You gotta buy a special lens which helps with that. So on our footage it's not even as bright as it was in person.
And I also really like to look up and see a lot of fish.
And there's just so much coral there and so many different types of animals that we saw. What did you like the most?
We saw the octopus.
Yes! Oh my god. That was the highlight for me for the whole trip. I've never seen an octopus in person
It's
before.
huge.
It does the thing where it does the camouflage. It will turn the color of the background that it's against so that it thinks that you can't see it. And it'll also change the texture of its skin to be rocky or whatever. Oh my god, so cool. And we saw a big white tofu thing that Emily calls the white tofu thing, but I think it's actually a sea cucumber. Oh, there was a big coral hollow in the middle, so it looks like a big flower pot. The instructor said, hey, put your head inside. I'm like, okay.
So the dive package through Sun and Sea included the accommodation, 3 meals every day, and also all the dives and the tests, and you also get this, well, if you pass the test, you're smart like us with as good skills. Overall, it's a very relaxing trip because every day, as you see, it's just eat, dive, eat, and then sleep. And most of the time, because you're underwater, so you're off the phone, so it's
No
really
Wi-Fi.
good to unwind.
So we have just come to the end of our dive trip here in the Philippines.
And we're now advanced divers.
Yeah, that means we can go to 30 meters and see the things that we missed out on last time.
Yes.
Thank you so much to Sun and Sea for organizing, and also the Altamare Resort, and also all of our dive instructor Sunday. So if you guys want to come and do any open water or advanced open water courses or any fun dives with Sun and Sea in the Philippines,
We'll put the link in the description box below.
yeah, remember to like, comment,
and
subscribe, and press the bell button.
Come